Hello and welcome to the lesson 3. This is about analyzing population data. This is an interesting lesson and a useful lesson. Now let's jump into the learning objective. That is to describe distributions by finding their mean and standard deviation. And that's it basically. Mean and standard deviation are something very important, which we will look into it more closely in this lesson. The keywords are descriptive analysis, distribution, symmetric distribution, outlier, variance, and standard deviation. We will come across all of this. Descriptive statistics means something which is described, or distributions. For example, you can see over here there is symmetric distribution, negatively skewed distribution, and positively skewed distribution. Now, the spread or the variation over here, how we measure it, like where the center is, and all that is basically descriptive statistics. Okay, where the center is, how the spread is going on, and all that. Now, when you look at any data, when you graph them up, bar graph, you get different type of graphs. See over here, this one is symmetric. Why? Because it's symmetrically distributed, half half. It may not be exactly symmetrical, but almost symmetrically. Whereas negatively skewed distribution, look over here, and over here, the thing is, left side there's no much data, all is densely spread over here in the middle region, more than the middle and less than the max. Here it's opposite, you can see high at the beginning and then it dips down. So these are all different type of distribution. Symmetry can be easily understood, left and right is equal. So if you take the mean or median, mean is basically average of these values. Median would be the similar to average but based on the weightage or based on the actual values. So now, sorry, not based on the actual value, based on where it is exactly populated. We will learn about this in the next lessons as well. So over here you can see, since it's equally distributed, the mean and the median is almost at the same point. Whereas over here, negatively skewed or positively skewed, these are not reliable because over here it is not symmetrically distributed. Over here you can see the data is more densely at the right side. So what happens is the median is somewhere over here. Median will be somewhere in the middle of this. Okay, that's a very bad color choice. Let me just change it to this one. See over here, this is somewhere, the median. The mean would be just average of them, somewhere say 14. That's the middle value, average. But median is somewhere over here, whereas in this case median will be somewhere over here where the weightage is high. Mean would be middle. So this is how different type of data can be distributed, and here the mean is less than the median, whereas over here it's greater than the median. That's a bit of negative distribution and positively skewed distribution. And the outliers are something that is, say for example, a student has performed almost all the time very good, A, and everything is A plus A, and all of a sudden he gets a F. So that is something out of the box. Maybe he was sick or maybe something happened. So that is an outlier. Now, similarly, if sometimes you do a research and you're taking data of something, okay, the temperature, the outside temperature, it's all around 40 degrees, 45 degrees, and one temperature is dipped to 20 degrees. We can say that's outlier, that's a wrong value. So that's basically outlier, which you will not describe normally. It's somewhere outside. Okay, that's about outliers. And this variance and standard deviation is important. However, the data is spread, it gives an idea about that. Mean is the average. The standard deviation gives an idea on how the data is spread. Let's look into a problem and you'll understand better. Now, this is the method how to solve, okay, to find the standard deviation. It's better we look into a problem and it's easier to understand rather than I just tell you the steps. First problem is manual without the calculator, and the next problems are using calculators. So all this standard deviation, mean can easily be found out in the calculator. But before that, let's see here. A coach recorded the times of each track member for 400-meter race. Find and interpret the standard deviation of the data. These are the races. It's a 400-meter race, and these are the value of each, whoever ran, the runners' timings. So, how do you find the mean? Mean is just the average. So, let's find the mean, that is, add all of them and divide by number of values. It's 8, right? So, I add all of them and divide by 8. Very simple, very straightforward. That's the mean. Just in the calculator, put all these values and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 values. So, divided by 8, that's it. Now, the mean running time for the team is 55.1 seconds. Next one, step 2, find the square. Okay, this is because we're finding the standard deviation, right? Now, first step was just to find mean, simple. Next one is important is to find the squares of the mean minus difference of mean and the value, or this value minus the mean. It's fine. Any way you do, it's fine. Generally, you can just take this value, subtract the mean, or you can take mean and subtract this value and then square it up, because it doesn't matter if it's a positive or negative value. The difference is only the thing. It'll be squared, so it'll be positive at the end anyways. So over here they have mentioned new minus mean minus the xn, that's these values, the whole square. You have to do x1, that is the first value, x2, 3, 4, and so on. We can see over here they have mentioned xn minus new squared, new the whole square. It doesn't matter, it'll be the same answer. I'll show you now. By the way, this mean, that symbol is also called as new, so sometimes I call it new. That means this one, okay? And now let's just do some of these values. Now what I mean is, you have to just put this mean 55.1 minus, what is the first value? It is 57.1, the whole squared. Find this answer. Or you can do the value first, 57.1 minus 55.1, the whole squared. It's up to you. We will do it in the calculator and see both the values will be the same. We can see a 55.1 minus 57.1, the whole square, is 4, and you will just swap these values. 57 minus 55, it'll be positive 2 minus 2, it's the same thing. Answer will be 4, because you're squaring it. Any negative number will be positive. Same way you need to do it for all the others. Over here, mean is taken first, and then you're subtracting all these values one by one. You can see all these answers are found out. That is the step 2. I hope this step is clear. Now we move on to the step 3, where you just find the sum of the last step. We found this difference of mean and square of the difference of mean and the value, right? Add all these values. Basically, you have to find the average of these. It is just made into 2 steps. We have added all these values, right? Whatever we found out over here in this step 2, add them up, and then next after that is divide by number of values, that is number 8. So add them all, you found out 48.18. Now divide by the number of values. In this sense, how many values, quantities? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So divided by 8. So this is the variance. Important thing. Variance also gives an idea about the spread. But now if you take the square root of this, just square root or power half, you get the standard deviation. That is 2.45. Standard deviation is a better way to understand everything, because this is more reliable and I mean easy to find and stuff. So what does the standard deviation mean? Now standard deviation is a value. See now, how much was the mean? Let me just write it over here. The mean was 55.1 and the standard deviation was, it is new, sigma is 2.45, I believe. I can't I just forgot it. Yeah, 45. Okay, so now here if I add and subtract this by 2.45, like 55.1, next if I add one standard deviation, it is going to be 57.55, and if I subtract one standard deviation, it's going to be 52.75, right? I'm sorry. Sometimes mind freezes and now it's frozen. I can't double thing it. And you can just keep on going one more time, and this would be about 59, 50, 60, I guess, around 60, and this would be about 51 or something. Now, what do you understand? Approximate value 51, 60. Now let's look at these values. This is 57, 59, 54. Every runner ran at a different value. It's not the same, but we are finding its relationship to its mean. How far is the value from the mean as a overall? Not only one, we are not considering only one, we are considering overall values. So now if you see, since the standard deviation is 2.45, we can say all the runners ran at a similar speed. See, it's all near 55.1. See, all these values are close to 55.1. And if you take two standard deviation, all the values are going to fall within it. Because I can't see any value. Okay, it's 50 is there. I think so that's going to be less only within two standard deviation. It's about 50 and everything is less than 60. So it's very, very close to the mean. Okay. Whereas if some value was say 40 and some value was 80, then the spread would be too much. Okay. But here, since all are very close by, the standard deviation is close. This standard deviation tells us where are the values. Are they widely spread or they are closely spread? If we have two set of values, then we can easily differentiate it and understand better. Okay, so uh, this is about, okay, sorry. Yeah, now what I was about to say is if you had subtracted over here two times, the standard deviation two times, I wrote the values wrong. It would be over here 50. All these values will fall within two standard deviations. That's what it means. Within two standard deviation from mean. We will understand a lot more when we do the next lesson, which is normal distribution. We have to learn more about that, about this. Um, if you understand how to solve standard deviation, that's more than enough. Check is not so important, but you can reasonably figure it out from these given values. We will look at another problem, but this time I will show you the calculator method, because the next problem, if you go to example 2 here, you can see they have asked for graphing calculators. So we don't have graphing calculator. Graphing calculator, it's very easy and you get all the values directly. But we have a scientific calculator and you can solve this in scientific calculator as well. So let us use this. Let us solve this using calculator. Here, all you need to do is, okay, now these steps are important. Okay, so clear your calculator first. Shift 9 3 equal and AC. And what you need to do is always press mode. There are lots of options: combination mode, complex, statistics, Bayes, equation, everything, matrix, vector tables. Now this is statistics what we are dealing with. So statistics is option number 3. And now these are all one variable, xn, right? One variable. So we take option 1. That's one variable. Now all you need to do is type all these values in the calculator. So let me type them: 36 and then press equal to 42 equal to, and you can put all the values: 48, 40, 44, 56, and then we have 57, and lastly we have 53. Now there are 8 values. I've inputted 8. After the last value, press equal to. Don't press anything for the next. Now it's up to you to press AC or on. I always go with AC. Just press AC. You can see there's a start mode. That means all the values what you just typed, after the last value, you should press equal to. Then when you press AC, it's saved. Now it's saved. Please don't press mode anymore. It's over. Once you save the values, that's it. Now what you need to do is, you can see the start mode. You can use statistic mode by pressing shift and then 1. And now you can see these options appear. What did we type in? We typed 1 dash variable. So variable, let's go for variable. And what is it over here? If this n, I'll explore through all these options. This n, right, tells you what is how many values are there? So 1 n is equal to 8. You need to press n and then equal to, you'll get 8. Yes, there are 8 values. That's fine, but we are not interested in that. Let's press shift 1 and 4 for variable, and now press number 2. Can you see this? This is the mean. Dash means the mean. Mean is 47. Is it true? Okay. They have not asked for mean, they have directly asked for standard deviation. So I was thinking, what's happening? Let's get back over here. They have not asked for mean, it's fine. But this is the mean. If they ask for mean, this would be the answer. 47. Okay, then what do you do next? Press shift 1, 4, and now I will see for the standard deviation. Standard deviation is 3, and here we get 7.26. We are rounded near to the nearest tenth at 7.3. This is the standard deviation what we require for the number of given values. Sorry, this is the standard deviation from the mean. Now if you see there's one more value, shift 1 and 4, and then if you press 4, don't use this standard deviation. This is also standard deviation, but this is standard deviation to the spread of the values rather than to the mean. So we don't use that. We just use shift 4, shift 1, 4, and either 2 for mean and 3 for standard deviation. That is it. We don't use anything else, and this is the answer. 7.26. Now here majority of the sales were between where? What was the mean we found out? I'll just go back again, shift 1, 4 and 2. Subtract this by standard deviation. 7.47 minus 7.3 is 39.7. Add again 7, it will be 54.3. Now these, it's between one standard deviation, all these sales were made. But you can see the standard deviation is a bit higher. So, but still, it gives you a standard deviation variance from the mean was about 7.3 baffles. So this is how you easily solve it in calculator. And the next problem onwards is the same thing. There's nothing much. Now we have just more values. It's just very hard to manually do this, add them all, subtract them individually with mean. It'll take a long time. So that's why calculator saves a lot of time. Now what you can do is, in order to save new values, now you have done this. So either you can clear your calculator by shift 9 3, or you can also, go to data, shift 1 data, and then type in new values. Or the best way I do is I just clear it out and then just start with mode. So whenever I'm typing a set of values, I go to mode, then press 3 and 1 for variable, and now I just type the values in: 26, 12, 15, 20, 17, 19, 18, 16, 14, 23, 13, 18, 19, 20, and 22. So there are 16 values, 15 values. Let me just check. 3, 6, 9, 10, 3, 2 is 15. So now you need to just press AC. They're saved. Shift 1, 4. Option number 2 gives you the mean. Let's say 18.13. Is it correct? Yes, the mean is 18.133. And shift 1, 4, and then option number 3 gives you standard deviation. That's 3.7. This is the standard deviation we use, and in a graphing calculator you get a lot of once only you get all these results. But anyways, like each step, all the 5 steps can be obtained easily over here, but we get mean, the number of values, and the standard deviation. That's fine. You can see the mean is 18.1. Yes, we got that, and the standard deviation is 3.7. That's the answer. You can try this by yourself. Pause the video and just try it. It's very straightforward. I hope you try. I will do it over here. Even if you don't clear the calculator, I can just go to mode 3, 1, and when you input any new values, it will be saved. I'll just do it here: 68, 55, 52, 63, 54, 47, 56, 56, 58, 62, 63, 52. Now there are 12 values: 3, 6, 9, and 12. Yes. Press AC, shift 1, 4 for variable, and now you need to choose 2. 57.16, that'll correspond to 57.2. Shift 1, 4 and 3 gives you 5.654. Yes, it is 5.7 because when you approximate this, it'll become 5.7. That's it. We have a real world problem again about two exam scores about Algebra 2 class, and we need to find the mean and standard deviations over here. All you need to do is same thing. It's two teachers, okay, Miss Jackson and Miss Hetrix. So these are the scores of the two teachers. We can find this mean and standard deviation. It's the same repetitive procedure. I hope you know how to do it. I'll just quickly show mode phi, sorry, my bad, mode 3, 1, and type in all the values. I would request you all to try this by yourself, but I'll just discuss the answers and then type it all in. And then you need to press AC or on, then shift 1, 4, and choose whatever you want. 2 for mean, 3 for standard deviation. If you want to remove that mode, it's better to remove because you won't have most of the options when the mode is on. If you want to use it for normal calculation, then just press shift. No, you can press mode and 1. Now it will be in computational mode, or you can just clear your calculator by shift 9 3 equal AC. This is the thing. Let's quickly see over here by the calculator. You find the standard deviation and the means and everything. Now let's compare. Over here, the mean in Mr. Jackson's class is 93.2. That's very high. And the standard deviation, this last one, is 2.33. That is very low. That means almost all the students got marks which are very close to each other, which are very close to the average marks or the mean marks. Whereas in Miss Hedrick's class, you can see the average or the mean is 79.9. That's nearly 80. But the standard deviation is high. So there is a big spread in the marks. Some of them got low, some of them got high. There is a lot of variation. That's what you can understand. So Mr. Jackson's class, it's all at one point. So there is no much spread, whereas Miss Hedrick's class, there's much spread in the marks variation. So whatever I just now told was comparison. That's the thing you can see over here. And the same thing can be done over here. Let us do this over here. I'll do it together. You can try it by yourself and then you can look for the explanation. I'll do one of this because anyways, let me just do mode 5. Sorry, it's mode 2. I don't know why I'm pressing 5. It's mode 3. I'm just getting sleepy and very sloppy. It's mode 3 1. Now type the values in. It is 80. Sorry, 80. It's 80, 60, 85, 75, 75, 90, 70. Just make sure you type in the values accurately. Double check the values. Don't do it wrong. 55, 65, 80, 95, 65, 90, 60, 85, 70, 75. So 20 values are typed in. Press AC, shift 1. Now type in 4, option number 4, and press 2 for the mean. The average score is 73 here. What is the average score over here? Now looking at this values, I can see a lot of 90s and 80s, only 173. I can definitely tell the average score is higher in the post test. Okay, why? Because you can see there are much variation at 60, 65, 65. Many low values are there, and there are high values as well, but here you can see there are very top values compared to this. So the mean over here is 73, which is low. I'm sure over here the mean would be like nearly 90 or something, 80, 85 or something like that. Not sure, but you can do it and try. And now let's look into the standard deviation. So let us find shift 1 and 4 and 3. The standard deviation over here is 11.97. Let's quickly do this as well just to compare. Okay, this is 12 and the variation was about 70 something. 79, 4 and 3, sorry, 4 and shift 1, 4 and 2. The standard deviation was 73, and the standard, sorry, mean is 73 and standard deviation is 12. Let me just write over here. Mean is 73, standard deviation is almost 12. It's 11.9. Now let me type in the new values, that is mode 3 1, and I'll just type these values. It's 73, 88, 84, 88, 85, 83, 93, 94, 94, 93, 93, 97, 99, 96, 81, 89, 96, 93, 93, 93. Okay, a lot of 93s. And now we just press AC. Shift 1, 4. Let's look into the mean first. The mean is 86.05. So yes, the post-test score, average score, that's the mean. Average means mean was higher. Mode shift 1 and 3, 4 and 3 gives us, look at this, standard deviation is very high here because this mean is 73 and all the values are very close to 73, whereas here it was 76, 86 something, but see 73 is very low and this 99 and all is very high. So the standard deviation, the spread is high over here. Though the higher values, the spread is high in most, the scores were most varied. I'm sorry, I stopped for a moment. I realized that I made a mistake. Here, okay, whatever I told in the just a while ago, because the values I had typed in was wrong, and that's why I told wrong. See, I'll just make this clear. Whenever the standard deviation is, say, bigger, it is more varied. Now here, I told you that the values are differing. This outlier 73 is 2 away from the mean, but you can see overall the values are very close. My bad. See, so many 93s, so many 99, 96, all are very close. And now, I just read this. I cut a bit of the part over there a while ago, and now I realize the standard deviation over here is exactly is lesser than the pre-test. So the post-test scores are less varied, whereas the more varied ones are pre-test, because we got the standard deviation of 12. I'm not sure what I did, but there is some mistake which I did maybe when I was inputting the values. And shift, you can just check shift 1, 4 and 3, 2. The mean over here is 90.25. Okay, this is the accurate values. So the post test was higher mean, but it was less varied, whereas this was highly varied. Now you can see here the difference is the lowermost value is 60 and the highermost value is 95. I'm so sorry for the wrong values. I typed it wrong and I got the wrong answer, but understand so much. Whenever you have less standard deviation, that's a good thing because all the values are concentrated at a proper rate or near the mean. Whereas if you have a big variation of values, that means that the values may not be accurate because there's a large change. It just goes on like a flow. So if you're doing experiments and stuff, if you're finding certain doing a research, you usually want the standard deviation to be as less as possible. It depends on what research it is, but generally you want as less as possible. That means whatever values you're getting are very close to each other, and that means it's more reliable rather than very spread across. So that's how we solve this, and I hope it is clear. If you have any doubts, please do post them in the comments. And this is a very simple chapter. Just make sure you know the methods to use the calculator properly, because that is very important. Once you know the way to use the calculator to find standard deviation or mean, it's very, very simple. All these problems can be easily solved in the calculators. All the best for your studies, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.